So here we are. We're talking today with Matt Wong about his guitar teaching. Matt, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Dan.
So let's start by just hearing about where you teach. What part of the country are you in, and what city do you teach in?
Yeah, so I'm from New Jersey. I live in the Princeton area. Where I actually live is West Windsor, just outside of Princeton. But yeah, that's where I teach. I teach in my home. So
Got it. And do you offer Skype lessons as well for those people out there who maybe don't live in your part of the country?
yeah, I offer right now. I don't have any Skype students, but I think teaching on Skype and learning on Skype because I I do more learning on Skype than teaching at the
Hmm.
moment. But I think it's a great way to learn. It basically gets rid of that like distance barrier. Like you don't need to travel to a teacher's studio. You can basically learn from anyone wherever they are in the world. So that's
Sure.
why, yeah,
The convenience of it is fantastic.
yeah.
That's really cool. But so, in terms of students who live in your part of the country, so do you travel to their homes or do they come to you? How does that work?
Yeah, all my students come to me.
Hmm.
I don't. I'm a teenager, so I don't have a car, so
Yes.
hard for me to get to other people's places. So right now, all my students come to me for lessons.
And what do you find the climate is guitar lesson wise where you are? Do you find a lot of people want to learn to play guitar?
Yeah, definitely. Um, I believe guitar is the most popular instrument in terms of like studying an instrument. So like um, I know like so many people that play guitar. My friends, just
Hmm.
people I happen to talk to on the street. Everyone either has played before or really wants to get into it. So
Makes sense. Sure. And what do you find the most popular styles are that people request to learn?
definitely rock and pop music.
Understood. And do you offer other styles of music as well that you teach?
Yeah, I started when I was 6 years old. I started playing classical guitar. I was trained classically, and then when I was about 11, I started getting into jazz. And right now, I take lessons in New York City with Bruce Arnold. He's a great jazz player. So mainly jazz is my like really strong style of music. But obviously, growing up, I've been listening to anything from the Beatles to music today. So jazz and classical rock and pop are my styles that I'm generally really good at teaching.
That's great. And do you find that you teach more younger students or do you teach adults as well?
Right now, all my students are under 15. Yeah, my oldest student is 15. My youngest student is 7. So I find I'm really good at teaching younger students because I'm a kid myself. So I get how kids think
Hmm. Hmm.
like in terms of like being motivated to practice, attention spans, and all those.
Understood.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. And so, can you tell us a little bit about your fees and your scheduling format? How do you work with students?
Yeah, so I try, especially with young students, I try to have a lesson once a week because I feel like when you have like a lesson twice a week, I tried that myself when I was like when I was younger. I tried like a little bit for having lessons twice a week. It didn't really work because like I felt I'd make a mistake, and then 2 weeks would go by. Then I'd have a lesson, and then I'd be like practicing with that mistake. So I feel like when you have a lesson at least once a week, it eliminates the chance of the student developing a problem, and
Hmm.
and then and if they do develop like a problem from practicing, you can get rid of it so much quickly when you have a lesson once a week.
That makes sense. So, a little earlier you were saying twice a week. I think probably what you meant was like having a lesson every 2 weeks. That wouldn't be
Oh
enough,
yeah, yeah. Sorry.
right? That's
Yeah,
what you meant.
yeah,
Yeah, obviously, the more somebody works with a teacher, the more progress they're going to make. And obviously, as well, what you're saying is a really excellent point about how, you as a teacher can then help your students not, get stuck with their
yeah,
mistakes. You can interrupt that. That's an important role as a teacher. I'm sure you would agree.
yeah.
Cool. So how long are your lessons usually? Do you do an hour lesson or 2 hours or 45 minutes? What do you do?
Yeah, I offer lessons for an hour and
Hmm.
half an hour. Generally, I recommend, from my own experience from learning, I recommend that beginners take half-hour lessons, and then intermediate and above students take an hour lesson. Just because, again, most of the beginners I teach are like 7, 8 year old students. So, again, attention span. Like the longer you have a lesson, the more distracted they get. Plus, the amount of material that you assign and like listen to every week is not as much as like an intermediate or between an intermediate and advanced, those type of students. So
Makes a lot of
that's,
sense.
yeah.
Sure. And just in real simple terms, how would you describe your approach to teaching somebody? You've said a great deal already, but if you could tell us a little more, that'd be great.
Yeah, so again, I was trained classically, so first thing I learned to do was read music. I feel like when you read music, you can it opens up a whole new world of playing, because you can like read articulations and dynamics. Plus, you can read, like if someone else gave you a song to like maybe play with a friend. Um, Maybe they have like chord, some types of like chord um, indications.
Hmm.
So by learning how to read music, I feel like it gives you a step up from a lot of people. So that's the first thing I get students started on, basic reading. Once I establish that, then I get them playing songs right off the bat, because um, I feel like everyone likes playing songs. So I think having a balance of playing scales and chord exercises and then applying those things to songs is really good for students.
Makes sense. That sounds great. So, can you tell us a little bit about your equipment? I noticed you have your
Yeah,
acoustic guitar with you. What kind of guitar is that?
yeah. This is a guitar made in Australia. The company is Maton.
Hmm.
Um, this is the guitar I use when I perform live, when I do my solo shows. This guitar has a really nice pickup.
Hmm.
It's the best like pickup that I've ever used. So like this guitar is a really small guitar, but when you plug it in, it has so much punch. So that's why I love using it for a live setting.
Got it.
Um, I,
Can you
yeah,
tell us about your other guitars?
yeah. Here's my pick. I also when I teach, I also use an electric guitar because I teach both acoustic students who play acoustic guitar and electric guitar. That's a Ibanez that I got a couple of years ago. I believe it's a Ibanez their Arcor series, and I believe it's AM73B. So
Got it. Cool. And do you offer your students guidance about purchasing their own equipment?
yeah, I try to when I was picking up when I was buying instruments when I was younger. Obviously, because when I was little, I had no clue what I was doing. My parents had no clue anything about instruments. So my teachers always gave me as much guidance, and that's what I do. I always try to give my students advice on like what kind of guitar they should be looking at, and if I have time, I try to go to the store with them, because I always feel like a student, you should always buy a guitar um, based on what you like. So maybe the most expensive guitar, or maybe isn't might not work for a student. Maybe the guitar they pick up and they really like playing that. That's the guitar for them. So I always try to like go to the store with them and have them try out a couple guitars, and just whatever they like. That's the best guitar.
Of course, it's such a personal choice, something everybody has to find for themselves. Makes total sense. Well, listen, we'd love to hear you play something. If you could give us an example of some of your guitar playing, we'd love to hear it.
Yeah. So a lot of my students, the things they study are like playing like chord melody type of things, like and that's the kind of music I play too. Like I really like the songs the title track off my new album Reflections. And I'm really adding arpeggios and chords and everything all around at once. So this is Reflections.
That was
Yep,
beautiful.
that was just the A section to my
Makes
songs.
sense. Well, that was really cool. Thank you so much, Matt.
Yep, thanks for talking to me.
Absolutely. It's been great to interview you, and good luck with your guitar teaching.
Yep, thanks.